The dark truth about the Eagles, scandals, feuds and the downfall of a rock legend exposed. The Eagles are an American folk rock and country rock band formed in 1971 in Los Angeles. They became one of the most successful bands of all time, known for their smooth vocal harmonies, skilled guitar work, and blend of rock, country, and folk influences. The band's classic lineup included Glenn Frey vocals, guitar Don Henley vocals, drums Joe Walsh guitar, vocals and Timothy B. Schmidt bass, vocals with former members like Randy Meisner and Bernie Leadon contributing to their early success. Their most famous song, Hotel California, released in 1976, is known for its haunting lyrics, intricate guitar solos, and mysterious storytelling. The Eagles, a deep dive into their history, legacy, and secrets. The Eagles are one of the most iconic and best-selling rock bands of all time, blending folk, country, and rock into a unique sound that defined the 1970s. From their rise in Los Angeles to their tumultuous breakups, reunions, and lasting legacy, their story is filled with legendary songs, behind-the-scenes drama, and fascinating trivia that even some hardcore fans might not know. This detailed history covers their early years, their peak, their solo ventures, their reunions, and even hidden details about their music, films, and television appearances. The early years. Formation and influences 1968-1971. Before the Eagles became a household name, their journey started in the vibrant and competitive music scene of Los Angeles. The band's core members, Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Bernie Leadon, and Randy Meisner, were already active musicians before joining forces. Glenn Frey's early career. Frey, a Detroit native, had connections to Bob Seger, who helped him early on. Seger advised Frey to focus on songwriting instead of just performing. In the late 1960s, Frey moved to Los Angeles, where he lived in the same apartment building as Jackson Browne. Frey would listen to Browne composing songs, which influenced his writing style. Don Henley's Texas roots. Henley was from Texas and started in a band called Shiloh, which was signed by Kenny Rogers. When Shiloh disbanded, Henley moved to LA, where he met Frey. The Linda Ronstadt connection. The Eagles officially formed while working as the backing band for singer Linda Ronstadt in 1971. Ronstadt's manager, John Boylan, recruited them for her tour. After playing together, they decided to form their own band, taking inspiration from the country rock sound that was becoming popular. How they got their name. There are multiple stories about the name. One version claims they chose Eagles during a peyote-fueled trip in the Mojave Desert. Another suggests they were inspired by the Native American symbolism of eagles. 2. Early success. The first two albums 1972-1973. Debut album, Eagles 1972. The band's self-titled debut was recorded in England with producer Glyn Johns, who had worked with the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin. It featured hits like Take It Easy. Originally written by Jackson Browne, Frey helped complete it. The song's famous lyric, "Standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona," became so iconic that Winslow later built a statue in honor of the song. Witchy Woman. Bernie Leadon, a bluegrass-influenced guitarist, played a key role in its creation. The song was rumored to be about Zelda Fitzgerald, wife of F. Scott Fitzgerald, due to lyrics about a mystical woman losing her mind. Second album, Desperado 1973. This was a concept album about outlaws in the Old West. Despite its later fame, it initially flopped commercially. Desperado. Henley and Frey wrote this song inspired by outlaw imagery. It became one of their signature tracks despite never being released as a single. Tequila Sunrise. A laid-back song about lost love, inspired by the cocktail of the same name. Trivia. The Desperado album cover featured the band dressed as Old West outlaws. The photo shoot got so intense that they used real guns as props. 3. The peak of their career. Hotel California and Superstardom 1974-1979. Third album, On the Border 1974. This album marked the transition from country rock to a harder rock sound. Already Gone. A defiant breakup anthem that showcased their move towards rock. Fourth album, One of These Nights 1975. This was their first #1 album, featuring One of These Nights. Henley called this their attempt to blend soul music with their signature rock style. Lion Eyes, a song about infidelity, written in a single afternoon after Frey and Henley observed a young woman dining with an older man. Fifth album, Hotel California, 1976. Their most famous album, a critique of the American dream, featured Hotel California, a metaphor for excess in the music industry. The famous line, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave," has been widely analyzed. Life in the Fast Lane, inspired by a reckless driver Frey encountered in real life. Trivia. The album cover was shot at the Beverly Hills Hotel, though it was initially mistaken for a haunted house. IV. The Breakup and Solo Careers, 1980-1993. Sixth album, The Long Run, 1979. This album was difficult to make due to in-band tensions. Heartache Tonight, a hit with backing vocals from Bob Seger. Breakup in 1980. During a 1980 benefit concert, tensions exploded between Glenn Frey and Don Felder, with threats exchanged on stage. The band split afterward. Solo careers. Frey had hits like The Heat Is On featured in Beverly Hills Cop. Henley released The Boys of Summer, one of the best songs of the 1980s. The Reunion and Later Years, 1994-2016. Hell Freezes Over, 1994. Named after a joke that they'd reunite, when hell freezes over. Final studio album, Long Road Out of Eden, 2007. Their first album in 28 years. Glenn Frey's death, 2016. Frey's passing marked the end of an era. His son, Deacon Frey, later joined the band. The Eagles in Film and Television. The History of the Eagles, 2013, a detailed documentary revealing secrets about the band's conflicts and success. Their songs appeared in movies like The Big Lebowski, 1998, where Jeff Bridges' character famously hates the Eagles. The Eagles' legacy endures, from Hotel California to their record-breaking tours. With a mix of country, folk, and rock, they created music that transcends generations. Their behind-the-scenes stories, feuds, and triumphs make them one of rock's most fascinating bands. The tragic fall of the Eagles, the dark side of fame exposed. The dark truth behind one of rock's biggest bands. The Eagles were once untouchable, selling millions of records and defining the sound of 1970s rock. Their legendary album Hotel California painted a picture of fame and excess, ironically, the same lifestyle that would later contribute to their downfall. Behind the scenes, toxic feuds, substance abuse, lawsuits, and bitter betrayals plagued the band. What really happened to the Eagles? How did one of the biggest bands in rock history go from ruling the charts to a bitter breakup? The peak. The biggest rock band of the 1970s. Few bands reached the level of superstardom that the Eagles did in the 1970s. With their blend of folk, rock, and country, they created timeless hits like Take It Easy, Desperado, and Hotel California. Chart-topping success. Their albums sold over 150 million copies worldwide, with their greatest hits 1971-1975 becoming one of the best-selling albums in history, even outselling Michael Jackson's Thriller at times. Massive tours. The band played sold-out stadiums around the world, living the rock star dream with private jets, expensive cars, and endless partying. Grammy wins and industry respect. The Eagles won multiple Grammys and dominated rock radio for years. However, behind the glitz and glamour, internal feuds, addiction, and ego battles threatened to tear the band apart. The downfall. Hollywood scandals, feuds, and self-destruction. Despite their massive success, the Eagles were a ticking time bomb. Here's how their empire crumbled. 1. Feuds and backstabbing. The Eagles weren't just bandmates, they were at war with each other. By the late 1970s, Don Henley and Glenn Frey had seized control of the band, causing resentment among the other members. Joe Walsh's struggles. Guitarist Joe Walsh, known for his wild partying, often clashed with Frey and Henley, who criticized his lifestyle. Don Felder's war with Glenn Frey. The most infamous feud was between Don Felder and Glenn Frey, which reached its peak in 1980. During a charity concert, Felder insulted a senator's wife, leading to a backstage fight with Frey. The two exchanged violent threats on stage, with Frey allegedly telling Felder, "Only 3 more songs until I kick your ass." That night, the Eagles broke up, not with an announcement, but with a full-blown physical altercation. 2. Drugs, excess, and self-destruction. Fame took a toll on the band, leading to out-of-control drug use. Don Henley's arrest. In 1980, Henley was caught in a drug scandal involving an underage girl and cocaine, quaaludes, and marijuana at his hotel. This Hollywood scandal rocked the industry and tarnished his image. Glenn Frey's addictions. Frey was known for his hard-partying lifestyle, which later led to serious health issues. Joe Walsh's struggles. Walsh once admitted he was so deep into cocaine addiction that he didn't remember entire years of his life. 3. Lawsuits and industry blackballing. The band members didn't just fight each other, they also battled in court. Don Felder sued the Eagles in 2001, claiming he was unfairly forced out of the band. Henley and Frey countersued, leading to a bitter legal war that lasted years. Felder later exposed the band's dark secrets in his tell-all book Heaven and Hell: My Life in the Eagles. Where are they now? Comebacks and tragedies. The Hell Freezes Over reunion, 1994. After 14 years apart, the Eagles reunited for a highly successful tour, joking that they'd only reunite when hell freezes over. Glenn Frey's death, 2016. Frey tragically died due to complications from pneumonia and arthritis medication, ending an era for the band. Don Henley keeps the Eagles alive. Henley has kept the band going with Frey's son, Deacon Frey, stepping in to fill his father's shoes. Lessons from their story. The price of fame. The Eagles' story is a cautionary tale for anyone chasing fame. Their downfall teaches us that ego and power struggles can destroy even the greatest partnerships. Excess and addiction often come at a high cost. Money and success don't guarantee happiness. While the Eagles' music still dominates classic rock stations, their rise and fall serve as one of the most dramatic cautionary tales in rock history. Final thought. The Eagles had it all, but at what cost? Fame, fortune, and legendary status came with dark secrets, betrayals, and personal tragedies. While their music lives on, the scars left behind tell a different story, a story of how the dark side of Hollywood and fame can tear even the greatest legends apart.